Today, I want to talk about follow up. Follow up is the key to success and will create consistency in your business. Everyone says the money's in the follow up, the money's in the follow up, and it's true. Okay. Continually following up with your leads is crucial to being able to get signed contracts and close more deals. Sure, the one call close is sexy, it gets all the hype, but that usually doesn't happen when you're calling and no one answers the phone. Most of the time, you're dialing, and no one's even picking up. So you might only talk to a handful of people in a day if you have a bad day. You see people online, they're always saying, no one answered the phone. I didn't get a deal. I bought 10 leads. I bought 25 leads. PPL sucks. Lead Zolo's no good. I speed to leads no good. It's they try one time and they stop calling. They don't follow up with those leads. If you buy 25 leads, you call them all, you talk to two, you don't give up on those 25. You keep calling the other 23 until they answer. And that's what follow up is. And that's where you start to have success and build momentum in your wholesaling business and really get the ball rolling when you're getting new leads, you're following up with the leads you don't talk to, and then you'll get people calling back. You'll get people on the phone. You might call them a handful of times before they even answer, and you know what's going on. And then you got to follow up with a couple more times. So, getting leads, calling them once, you're not going to have any success. I don't care how many leads you get. You'll have a one or twosie where you can get a signed contract and close a deal, but you're not going to have a business. You're not going to have consistency within that business if that's what your strategy is. So if you're doing PPL like I am, some of the ratios that have been thrown out there and you might see online is you should be able to get one contract for every 25 leads. So if you buy 25, that doesn't mean you're going to get one. You need to talk to all 25 of those leads to get the one contract. Okay. And then it might take you a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to talk to those 25 leads. So if you just buy 25 and try to get one contract after talking to all 25 of those people, it could take you 6 months to talk to all 25 and get one contract. And that's the piece that people are missing when you hear these things, one contract in every 25 or 1 in 10 or 1 in 50, depending what you're hearing, you're actually talking to those number of people in order to get a contract. So if you do 30 dials and you talk to 6 people, you're only 25% of the way there to 25, and that's 30 dials. So you need to do 200 dials to talk to 25 to get one contract. And the only way you're going to do that is consistent follow up. So, and it's all a numbers game. So what you need to be doing is every day you need to be getting new leads and following up with the old ones that you don't talk to. So if you get, let's say, 50 leads a week, you talk to all 50, you could potentially get 2 contracts. But if you get 50 leads in a week, you might only talk to 20. Next week, you get another 50. Now you're following up with 100, and you're going to have more opportunity to talk to more people to hit that number of talking to 25, 30, 40 people, whatever it may be for you, to get one contract. But you need to be feeding the pipeline. You need to be feeding the beast of new leads to get more follow-ups, and then you'll start to build momentum. So that way you're building your pipeline of leads. The more leads you have, the more conversations you're going to have, the more signed contracts that you're going to have. Since I've been more consistent with my follow up, we've connected with more sellers, we've given more offers, and we've gotten more signed agreements. And that's all due to the follow up. Not one of these people, I shouldn't say not one, but the majority of the people, it's not the first time we've tried to contact them, that we're talking to them, getting their info, getting a verbal agreement, getting a signed contract. This is not the first time we've tried to reach out to them. And that's where the power of the follow-up comes. Is next thing you know, people are calling you back. Hey, you called me. I'm still trying to sell. Here's my situation. And then you have a conversation with them. So pumping in new leads and then consistently following up with those leads has created more success and more opportunity. You need to remember, most wholesalers, they're going after the same people. So these sellers are getting calls every day, all day, every day. If you're pulling the same list, you're doing PPL, even PPC. If they're filling out one form, they're filling out another. So if they get 5 or 6 calls before you even try to call, chances are they're not going to answer your call. So another piece of the follow-up is doing your follow-up in a different manner, mixing it up a little bit. So one day you might call top down in the morning. The next morning you start from bottom up. So you're trying to hit these people at different times and you might get them to answer the phone. Also, by staying in touch, you can stay at the forefront of their mind. Most of our competition, they're not consistent. They might call 3 times and give up. And if you're consistently following up, you're hitting them every day. When they are ready to answer the phone or they are ready to talk to someone, you're going to be there. You're going to be ready to talk to them. You're going to be ready to answer their call if they call you back. If you're sending text messages, you're going to be there at the forefront of their mind, and you'll be the one calling when they're ready to finally talk to somebody, because you're consistent, because you're following up on a daily basis. Most of our competition is not doing that, myself included. Until recently, I haven't been as consistent and relentless that I needed to be. And now that I've implemented that, then I'm having more success and I'm creating more opportunities for myself because of the follow-up. We just locked up a contract today, and this lead has been in our pipeline for a month and a half. And we've called them with no answer 19 times. Finally, on that 19th call, we got them to answer. The lady, she's an older lady. She's had the house for a long time. Turns out she wants her son to do all the communication for the transaction. So that lady's been getting called and called and called by tons of different people. And I know for a fact, because they told me they had worked with other people and it fell through. They would, oh, I'm going to call you back. They never called back. So they've been working with other people. And we finally have hit them on the day where the mother answers the phone. She lets us know she's still looking to sell, but I'd rather you talk to my son and let him deal with it. So we got on the phone with the son. We've had 2 or 3 conversations with them, found out what they wanted, what their issues are with the property, the problem that they're having. And turns out we can be a solution for them. We were able to come to an agreement, get a signed contract, and now we're going to start dispoing that, and it should work out and close in 30 days. And that was someone that has been in our pipeline for a month and a half with over 20 conversations at this point, but 19 or 20 with no answer. We called, direct a voicemail, we called, left a message, didn't get them on the phone until that 19th time. And now 2 or 3 days later, we got a signed agreement and we're going to get it to close. The most important thing in your wholesale business is having leads. Got to have leads to have a business. Nowadays, there are ways to talk to motivated sellers and at a cheap price. So once you have the leads, the next big focus is following up with those leads until either they sell you their property, they sell it to somebody else, or they tell you to stop calling. You need to be relentless with your follow-up. And if you master that and you're consistent with the follow-up, you're going to have success. That's guaranteed. Let me know your success stories and how follow-up has created more opportunities for you. I appreciate you checking in today and look forward to seeing you on the next video.